Okay, it's now time to start on the hatch, and so I'm just going to review a little bit on how I got to the place where I am now. So the first thing that we did, you'll remember, when I had the sides here, I cut out this hatch rib, and I did this, I think I made a template, and then just routed a 1/4 inch groove and cut out where this hatch rib, and so this will be the hatch, and of course this is the side. Then later on, once I had everything set up, I had some of the cabinets in and whatnot, I cut a panel of 1/2 inch on this side. And this panel was also cut to the shape of the template, so it came up to here. And then it was also cut around the cabinets. I then clamped it all together and then took a 1/4 inch router bit and used a 1/2 inch offset and routed along this profile. And so it provided me with a 1/2 inch lip, and you can't really see that in here with I've got all of this in here, but this is basically a 1/2 inch lip. Okay, it also cut off this part. This part will act as a template for a 3/4 inch piece in here, which is actually the seal. And so a rubber seal, and here's a piece of that rubber seal that I got, and this rubber seal actually fits in there like that. And so that's how the hatch seals. It seals along this lip. And so I have a 1/4 inch gap all the way up. And then I have a 1/4 inch gap here all the way up. This side is treatment. I have aluminum that goes against the sides here, and then some trim that goes around here and lays in that slot. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take these apart, and I'm going to cut out the 3/4 inch pieces here and get that part going. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I've just got this laid out here, and I'm just going to go ahead and screw this to the, this is the 3/4 inch plywood here. This is that 1/2 inch template that I had. I'm just going to screw it down. Just using some drywall screws. Okay, so that then defines the curve, and the next thing I'll do is I'm just going to probably take it over to the bandsaw and roughly cut it to shape, and then I will use the router to finish it up. Okay, so I've gotten the these spacers that for the hatch seal. They're done, and just got them clamped in place, and you can see how they fit. You can see there's a little gap there, a little overhang. And so this gives you an idea of what it looks like. So there's the side, there's the tongue that sticks up, and then this right here is the 3/4 inch piece that I just cut. And that 3/4 inch piece, there'll be then a seal, rubber seal in here, and it just runs the full length. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a gusset, and what this gusset will do is it will screw to this and glue to this, and it'll actually extend out here a bit and then go up to the edge. And what that does is this just gives me some extra support to strengthen it against trying to unbend once I put the plywood on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so here's a plywood template that I'm making. And this plywood template, I just took one of the ribs. This is the part that was cut off there for the door, and put it on this plywood, and then traced around it. and then I traced for a gusset, and you can see this is the tracing for the gusset. And then that just gives me some, extra strength as far as to keep it from bending. This will be made of 1/2 inch, but I'm going to cut a template first, and then I will use the template to cut out the 1/2 inch gussets. Okay, so I got the gussets all cut out from 1/2 inch plywood, and let me show you what I've done so far. So I've got the gussets in here, and you can see they go on the inside, and then I've got some shims up under here, so there's a little gap right here, and I've got some shims up here, and then I have it all clamped down. You can kind of see what the seal will look like up here. So here's the corner, and so the seal will go in here on this tongue, and then press up against this tongue. So this is the internal gusset, and this is the outside wall. I've also then, so I've got it all clamped up, and then I cut the spars, and these are just that nice clear pine that I was able to find, and I cut the spars here, and these are 1x2s, and there's some 2x2s. There's a 2x2 up there at the top, and then down here at the bottom there's also a 2x2 that I had to cut at an angle for, so it'll match up with the countertop here. So there will also be a seal underneath this, and then this right here is just another spar just to reinforce that a little bit. So I got everything marked and exactly where I want it, marked around all of the spars, and what I will do then is I will take this all apart, take these gussets, glue the spars to the gussets, reset it, make sure everything is exactly where I want it, and then I will screw it all together and glue it all together. So that's what we've got for today, and we'll go on to the next part. Okay, I've taken the frame for the hatch out, and set it up on the workbench here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screw in these spars, also glue them. Right now they're just temporarily screwed. You notice I've also countersunk them. The reason I'm doing that is because this will all glue then to the ribs, the external ribs on the hatch. I'll switch to a countersink. Okay, and I'll just keep doing that on all these spars, and when I get that done, I'll back the screws out, put some glue in, and snug them up for real. So here's the hatch all screwed together and glued together. So we'll let that dry, and then we'll put it back in the teardrop, center it all up again, and then we'll stabilize it, and then I'll put the skins on the inside. Got the hatch back on the trailer and clamped into position and shimmed up so it's exactly where I want it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill some holes. These are pilot holes for screws that will go in, and then I'll take the clamps off, put some glue in there, and then screw everything down. Okay, so I put a thin film of construction adhesive here along the rib. And I want this to be relatively thin because I don't want any extra thickness when I glue it all up. So then I will glue it here onto the gusset. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And okay, so then what I will do is we'll just let all this sit and set up, and then tomorrow I will stabilize it and get it ready to put the skin on the inside. Alright, in order to stabilize this hatch so I can take it off and do the inside, what I did is I just took some scrap pieces of 1/8 inch plywood and just temporarily screwed them in place. You can see, so like this, and so that will keep it from twisting like this. And so if I'm careful with it, it should stay all aligned while I put the inside panels on. Alright, I've got the frame for the hatch laid out on my workbench. You can see I put these little props in the corners. This is just to make sure that everything is level and square. So these should help, this part right here should keep it from rocking this way. And then these little props should keep it all flat. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some glue on each one of these crossbars, and then I'll put the inner skin on. Alright, now that I've got those on, this glue on here, I'm just going to spread it out a little bit. I don't want it to be real thick and push the pieces up. Okay, now that I've got the glue spread out pretty well, I will bring the panel over and we'll get that set in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp this back edge first, just because it has the most pronounced curve. Pressing it down on the ribs. to do is I'm just going to take some of these crown staples, and I'm going to just drive one right in the corner of each one of the ribs. Because I plan on putting a piece of molding along there of some sort. I don't know exactly. The reason I'm doing that is because the edge of the panel and the edge of the gusset here are very close, but they're not exact. So that's what molding is for. Okay, I've got that all glued in. We'll let that sit, and we'll come back and start to finish it.